Hello, I'm Lizelle Sambry and welcome back to my channel where I talk about all things writing, traditional publishing, and a little bit of reading. And it is the May vlog and we're starting off good, which I'm excited about. So I handed in my latest revision of Pathways, which is my adult thriller that I've been working on. And I said I hoped that these were kind of the last edits and that we might be able to proceed from here. And my agent emailed me back and she said she loves all the changes. She loves the new cold open, which is fantastic. And we're now getting into the process of getting ready for submission. So my agent is pulling together her submission list. I'm going to write a pitch to then send to her and we'll edit it together. Usually that's what we do. I write a pitch and then we edit it together. And so I'm going to be doing that today. So that is my task for the day, is to get that pitch letter written. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. I'm sure it'll be fine. And if I write a terrible pitch letter, she'll just rewrite the whole thing. It's more just like she wants to get an idea of what I think is important to highlight. So yeah, so gonna be doing that. And a bit of a different process this time around. So my film agent is really interested in the story. So my literary agent pitched it to her and she's really interested and she really wants to read it before we go on submission. So we're actually going to send the pitch and the manuscript to her first. And then I guess we'll see where we go from there and kind of what she thinks. But that's an exciting new twist on the process. So yeah, she's going to take a look at it too, which is kind of nice because then get a bit of double industry feedback before submission. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, that's what I've got to do. And otherwise I'm taking, I guess, a little bit of a break in between. I am going to start later in the month. We're going to be doing a bit of traveling and we're both it's like a working traveling thing. My partner has to go to a conference. And then we're just kind of, doing a working holiday sort of thing. And so during that time, I plan to work on series plan stuff for A Mastery of Monsters. And so I'm going to get going on that. Yeah, and then I'm also going to get to go to Anime North, which I'm very excited about. I haven't been to Anime North since I was in high school, which is me and my friends used to go regularly. And I really wanted to go someplace with an artist alley. I really have the itch. I want to go see pretty art and buy cute things. And it's just the way scheduling and traveling had worked out. I didn't really foresee myself having budget to just go and to find a date where I would go to one of the cons that I wasn't gonna have already recently traveled and made things very tight for myself. But the time we planned to go travel just so happened to also fall on the Anime North weekend. So I'm very, very excited about getting to do that. So yeah, for this beginning period of May, I have that pitch letter to get done. I'm also just kind of taking a little break, doing some reading. I want to catch up on some graphic novels that I've been meaning to read, that sort of thing. And then we'll be traveling and doing series planning. So that is what you have to look forward to in this vlog, and I will catch up with you later. I'm already updating because I sat down to write this pitch letter and I was like, how do I do this again? Also, how do I do this for an adult thriller? So anyway, what I'm going to be doing now is I guess I'm going to go on Goodreads and look up the synopses for a bunch of thrillers so I can figure out how I'm going to do this. I was yeah, and I'll write this pitch. And then I sat down and I was just oh my gosh, my light continuously flickers. I really should just change it, but I'm not tall and I keep meaning to ask my partner and then I just keep forgetting to ask him. But anyway, the first hurdle has appeared in that I gotta figure out how to do this.
to LA, so I'll stay home and write these songs.
We already have an update for the month because my copy edits for A Mastery of Monsters came in, which is great because I was kind of feeling, what is that? Oh my god, it's a spider! Crisis averted, the spider has been dealt with. Moving on. Anyway, I said I got my copy edits, which I'm excited about because the month felt like I don't know, I was feeling like I didn't have enough to do for the month writing-wise, which there's a bit of a balance because I don't want to set up for myself that I'm constantly working. It's important for me to have these breaks and like get to like rest and recharge, but also like do things that help my writing that aren't necessarily writing, like all that reading I did in the last vlog that was super helpful to me, and I did that during like a break period. And so I try to remind myself that I don't have to be like working, but I was starting to feel like I just didn't have like a ton of work to do for the month besides like you know, some like sequel planning stuff, and it's not like I'm plotting it, I'm just kind of doing I'm giving myself a rough idea of what I'm going to do so that when I actually get into plotting it, I already kind of have an idea of what's going on. So it's not even like the real plotting. So I just felt like this month was so thin of things for me to do, and I was starting to feel like a little bit antsy. Like I wanted to do something, but I didn't necessarily want to start a new writing project. And I know I talked about like maybe I was going to do that novella project. I've kind of lost a bit of steam on that, and I kind of was just like, or I could just like have some time off. But yeah, I was starting to feel a little bit antsy. I've also had an idea for another adult thriller that has been percolating in my head, and I was starting to just feel like jittery, and I was like, should I do something for that? And I was like, not really, because I need to see how my first adult thriller, like whether that goes through or not, what happens. And so, you know, I'm trying not to do things so far in advance, which I usually do, and then I make all this work for myself, and then I start to think that all of that work is necessary, and then I get overwhelmed. And so I'm really trying to take it easy, especially because if my adult thriller sells, I'm going to have some years where I'm releasing 2 books in 1 year, and so I just need to like I need to chill and I need to be good about managing my time for things that are necessary. But like I said, I was just feeling antsy, and so I'm really glad the copy edits are in because it's giving me something to do, which I'm happy about. And so I did I read through 6 chapters today, so I'm trying to do 6 chapters, and I feel like the last time I edited the book I did a really like thorough read through, and so I was like, I can just like only address the copy editor comments, but I haven't read this book in so long now, and at least a couple months, and so I just like I want to read fully through it, and so that's what I'm doing. But there's not like a ton of things to address so far, so it is actually going pretty quickly, which is good. Copy edits have traditionally been my most hated type of edits, but I feel like I've like chilled on it now. Like I'm doing better, I'm doing okay, I'm not as like upset about doing them anymore, but it's good because it's giving me something to do for the amount of time that will fill up the month. So I'll be working on the Mastery of Monsters copy edits, and I'll be working on sequel planning, rough sequel planning, and that will fill up the whole month of May, which I'm excited about. But it's also work that doesn't feel like super overwhelming. Like I went through my 6 chapters before it was even lunchtime, which I thought it would take me the whole day. Who knows what will happen when I get to later chapters and there's more going on and there's potentially more comments. But for now, it's doing pretty well. So I've got that going on. I think that maybe I'll go to the fabric store today. I took a new author headshot for my Dark Academia era, and I did it myself and I edited it myself, and at first I was like, oh no, it's good, and now I hate it. I don't like it. I want to just go and get professional headshots done, but now I'm like, but what do I wear? Like, what's my outfit gonna be? Because I didn't like the outfit I wore to take my own pictures either. And so now I just feel like I need to like sew some sort of like dark academia outfit that I can wear. So I've gotten myself all up in that. And I'm gonna make a skirt and potentially also a shirt. So I wanted to go to the fabric store and see what they have. And I know I'm supposed to be using my own fabrics, but I just don't have a fabric that fits for this theme. And so I have to go. So yeah, I'll probably do that today.
Pretend I'll make it someday. Our friends are getting married, they're all settling down. So I lay here, watch the ceiling fan go round and round. And it's always gone too fast.
So I'm here and I'm looking around, but I think the problem is, oh no, there's some patterns over here. Okay, this is kind of what I'm thinking for the skirt. I want some sort of dark academia type plaid, and I don't really know what's gonna be best. I want it to be kind of darker colors because of just who the main character is. She's like got sort of a goth style, and I guess I kind of want my photo to match that a little bit. But I don't know what's best. I think I want more of a black or brown. I'm sorry that I'm a very awkward public vlogger, but I'm trying. I'm trying to do it a little bit. I don't know, but a brown is also like a little bit boring. They have this red, which is nice, but it's not really my color. And I like this burgundy one because it looks a little more red, but I don't know. Okay. I think maybe this is a little bit more what I'm looking for, but it's also more expensive. This sort of like, I like this sort of green and even this brown. It'd be nicer if it was cheaper though, but I don't know. There's some flannels too, which I could also use. So that's another option. Like this one's actually black. I like that one too. And they're a little bit cheaper. Okay, I've pulled out some options. I like this color, but I feel like these shades are more the vibe, are a little more dark academia, and of course they're more expensive, but I feel like they're the better choice. I'm back in the car. I'm a very awkward in public vlogger, but I tried. I told myself this month, I was like, I'm gonna try and be better at like vlogging in public, because I know you guys, I don't know, but like when I watch vlogs, I like to like come along with people and feel like I'm part of the journey. And so I was trying to trying my best to do that. So after much fabric hunting, I decided to go with this one. I like it because it's a nice, like, very like dark academia brown, but it's got some black in it. Well, I think it's more of a dark brown, but I feel like it would go really well with black. And I wanted to do a black top. I wanted to make a sheer black top, but for the life of me, I couldn't find any sheer fabric that has stretch. And I wanted something with stretch. So I might just end up having to like buy that top and just kind of give up and just purchase it. I saw something too that was like really cool with like a dress, but now I'm gonna make this skirt, so I don't want a dress, I just want a top. And I just wanted, like, you know, one of those black sheer stretchy sort of shirts. I'll get it at some point, I'm sure, and show you. So I wanted that, or I don't know if I should just wear a black sweater with like my collar thing. So I think what I'll do is I'll make the skirt first, and I'll try it on with some of the stuff I already have and see if that works for the outfit. But I think this skirt is very good. And again, it's going to be like, my author photo is very likely going to be a headshot, so you're probably not even going to see the skirt. But honestly, part of me is also like, if I'm going to pay to have someone do it, I might as well pay to have them do like, I don't know, some like full body stuff. And like, so then maybe I will use those photos. So I figured I do the skirt, do the whole outfit just in case. So yeah, that's my plan. So I'm gonna make this skirt, and then yeah, I'll see. Maybe I'll show you the outfit, the author, the new author headshot, outfit options. Yeah, but anyway, I got my fabric, so I'm just gonna make the skirt. Figured I would do an update. It is after the long weekend now, which was nice. I think I thought I was gonna get so much stuff done on the long weekend. Of course I didn't. I just like chilled and like hung around. I did do some reading though. I read No One Can Know, which is the new Kate Alice Marshall thriller for this year. And I have been struggling with physically reading books for a while. And I read this whole thing in 2 days. I was so enraptured and like drawn into it. I really loved it. It's about 3 sisters and their parents were murdered. And like there's something suspicious / off about what went down. And then one of the sisters decides to move into their old house, and it becomes this whole thing of like trying to make sure the secrets from the past don't come into the present again. And yeah, I loved it. I am a huge Kate Alice Marshall fan. I'm like a huge fan of their writing. And so I really love this. This is an adult thriller. And then I've also been reading Seconds, the graphic novel. This is it without the dust jacket thing on. But it's Seconds. It's by Brian Lee O'Malley, who is the Scott Pilgrim creator. So this is another graphic novel that he's done about a woman that like owns a restaurant business and is like trying to start a new restaurant business when she discovers that she's able to like rewrite history, so to speak. And apparently it's going to be a movie directed by oh, why am I blanking on her name? I can't remember. It's like, she's an actress. Blake Lively. There we go. She's apparently directing it, and apparently they're getting the same writer that wrote the Scott Pilgrim movie. So that's cool. So I'm reading it. I'm halfway through. I'm really enjoying it. I really like the illustrations, but I already know that I like his style. So I'm reading that also and hoping to finish it. But I'm really excited. I'm excited about the possibility of like physically reading another book. I think I'm going to try and read The Invocations by Crystal Sutherland. I have like a fancy, what is it? Owl Crate? A fancy Owl Crate version of it. And so hopefully I want to kind of get around to reading that. I feel like I'm like on the physical reading train. I got to get back to that. And I got my holdback for Bunny by Mona Awad, which I was reading on audio from the library and absolutely loving. I'm still absolutely loving it, but I wasn't reading it fast enough on audio, and so my hold got taken away, and so I've got it back now, so I need to get back into it. But I'm also now like not in an audiobook mood. It's very weird how my reading moods shift and change, but anyway, that's the sort of state that I am in. But writing wise, copy edits continue. I'm almost at the end. I've got like 2 more days worth of copy edits to go, and then I can start working on sequel planning and stuff like that. I do have a lot of time to plot out this sequel because of the shifting of my book's release date, but I want to kind of get started as soon as possible to know what I'm doing, just in case I end up like somehow needing more time for plotting or what have you. Then I like give myself a big buffer to put everything together and kind of know what I'm doing and like how much world building I have to do, because the benefit of doing a sequel is that I've done most of the world building in the first book, and so I don't have to do as much as the next one. But I also, just because of the way the ideas I have for this series, I also have like a lot of work to do, and so I might actually end up doing a large amount of world building anyway. And then because these are competition books, there's a new competition, I got to build a bracket, I got to figure out how the competition works, I got to figure out how people score and like rules. And I think I'm going to add I'm planning to add a new perspective to this sequel, and so I also got to figure out like how much am I putting into that second perspective, and like how
equal or unequal. I think that's going to be like, I think the new perspective is going to be like a third of the book, and then the other 2/3 I'll give to August, who's my main protagonist. And so I just kind of gotta figure out how I'm gonna put that all together. Or it might not even be a third. That's a lot. It might be more of a fourth. I tend to do uneven multi-POVs. When I do multi-POVs, usually like one is like a smaller amount. So I don't know. But anyway, I want to get started on that planning, but I gotta finish my copy edits. They are still going well. I had to do I messed up some math stuff, and so it took me a little bit to figure out the math things. It's because I have point scoring for the competition, and I just had like messed up some number things, which thankfully my copy editor was there to point out, which was really helpful. And I also had a scene where I honestly don't know what went on with me with writing this scene, but there's just like, there's a lot of characters in the scene. And I think it's just like I just like didn't do a good job of like keeping track in them and like moving them all through space. And then like the characters I had added were characters that I hadn't planned out super far in advance like I had with some of the others, and so they really faded into the background. And thankfully my copy editor also picked up on that and was like, hey, what's happening with these other characters? And I was able to like bring them in, and it's so much better now. This copy editor I've worked with I believe in like past pages before, and she's really, really good. And so I'm really appreciating, and I feel like I'm coming out with a better book. So it's really good. I know like copy edits can be so frustrating, and sometimes I find myself frustrated, but copy editors are very, very good when you have very good ones. So, but yeah, we're planning now. We're gonna be traveling for a bit. My partner has to do some work in Sudbury, so we're gonna go to Sudbury for a little bit, and then we are heading out to Hamilton/Toronto. We're doing like some stuff in Hamilton, some stuff in Toronto. I'm also trying to get my Nexus approval, so I have to go to Niagara, and so I just have to drive there to get that, and then that's closer to Hamilton too. And so I also think we're gonna visit my mom for a bit, so we're gonna kind of be bouncing around all over the place, traveling for the next couple of weeks. So I'm gotta figure out which books I'm gonna bring with me, of course. And I'm very excited about getting to go to Anime North this weekend, which I'm super looking forward to. I'm gonna go on Sunday. I am ready to shop until I drop. No budget, because I've wanted to go to a convention all year, and I think this is the only convention I'm gonna get to go to this year, and I didn't even know that I was gonna get to go to it. And all last year I had FOMO about people getting to go to like conventions and stuff, and so like I'm ready to go buck wild at this artist alley. And I'm gonna try and vlog while I'm there. I'm gonna try and get over the social anxiety of vlogging in public. And so yeah, I'm hoping to share some of that and to get a lot of like cool art. I want to like really, I've had a lot of the like same art on my walls for a very long time, and I kind of want to, I don't know, switch things up, revamp things, get some new stuff, get some fun anime stuff, like, you know, get some like, I don't know, like some Haikyuu shit. And what else do I really like? Some Attack on Titan stuff. Like, I don't know, I haven't had any like anime art for a while. I've had just kind of like a lot of people's like original character art, and I'd love to get some more fan art stuff in here. So that's kind of the plan, and yeah, I'll check in with you when I'm somewhere else.
I love the way you take it slow. You make this light inside me glow. You're the only one who knows me. Saturate me when I'm gray until all my colors show. I get lost in those hazy eyes. I'm in love with these lazy nights. So maybe we can stay back, lay back here and enjoy the ride. I don't wanna feel the night. I just wanna chill under the northern lights with you, with you. I'll do whatever you want me to do. Sadie, you save me, keep me from floating away. Blue dream, baby, you leave me with nothing to say but say.
really loud here, so I'm not sure how actually audible I'm going to be, but I decided to stop and have a snack because I haven't eaten anything all day, and I was like, I should probably stop and force myself to eat something. So I think I'm like halfway through the artist alley now. So I think I might take a peek into the dealer's room to see what they have over there. I don't really know what it is. I guess it's just like the actual branded merchandise. So I don't know. I'm kind of curious to see what they have over there. So I might go do that, and then I can come back to the artist alley after, and give myself some time. I'm more interested in the artist stuff than like, I don't know, branded merch. But I'm curious about what it is, and I've already spent a lot of money, so I was like, I might as well see what's over there. So yeah, I'm gonna eat and eat my smushed fruit that I put in a plastic baggie. Has gotten the life smushed out of it by me shoving things in my bag and forgetting that I have food in there. So, but yeah, I'm just gonna eat this, and then yeah.
I love the way you take control. You lift me up when I get low. I gave you the right of way. Now I'm seeing sideways. But even when Saturday ends, I know I'll see you again. I don't wanna feel the night. I just wanna chill under the northern lights with you. With you, I do whatever you want me to do. Sadie, you save me, keep me from floating away. Blue dream, baby, you leave me with nothing to say but say.
Hello, it is the next day after Anime North, and so I figured I would put my Blue Lock shirt back on and share with you my haul. My goal was to shop till I dropped, and I feel like despite that, and despite buying whatever I wanted, I do feel like I ended up being like fairly conservative with my purchases. So that's good. But yeah, I figured without further ado, I will probably I'll put on screen all of the artisans that I purchased from. So if you want to like check out their stuff, you can. And then maybe I'll also put links in the description as well. So yeah. So first I got this very cute froggy, what is this called? Fanny pack. So it's just like, it's super cute, and it is like an Ita bag. So you can put pins in here. It's also got like a little zip on the back, and it's like quite like, I think quite spacious inside. And I was very happy with it. Ooh, I might have scuffed it up a little bit, but yeah, it's super, super cute. I really love it. You will probably notice a theme as I go through these next few items, but that's the little froggy fanny pack Ita bag. I got this sweatshirt. I don't know how far back I can get, but it's got like little froggy designs on it, and also on the sleeve it's got some frog designs as well. I don't know how, there we go. I was like, I don't know how helpfully I'm showcasing these, but it's got those as well, and it's super, super soft. It's really soft. So I got that, which I'm really excited about. I got this frog cult shirt. I'm not sure how I'm getting this in camera, but that's that one, which I also thought was super cute. And I'm sure by now you can guess the theme of things that I purchased. And I really did want to get like a lot of clothing items, like really cute clothes. I think because like usually when I like see them online, like the shipping is so expensive. And so I was like, this is my opportunity to get like a lot of really nice cute clothes without having to worry about shipping. And then I also got this really cute froggy cardigan. I don't know how far away I'm like actually effectively getting this to show, but it's really cute. It's got these like frog and worm and daisy designs, and it's really nice. It's got like a good, it feels high quality. Everything I bought like feels very good quality, which is why I like buying stuff from like artisans, because I feel like they're very like devoted to getting like a good high quality product for their designs. They're not trying to just like put whatever cheap thing out there. It feels like they like put a lot of time and effort. And so I got that cardigan, which I love. I'm so excited to wear all of these. And I think that was the last clothing item. And I got this sleeping Pochita figure. Look at how cute he is. Look at how adorable. If you can actually see, hopefully it's like focusing well. But there's my little sleeping Pochita. The figure is way smaller than I thought it would be. This is the size of the box. This is the size of the figure. So I did think he would be a lot bigger, given what I spent on him. But alas, what can you do? The figure game is like not for the faint of heart. It is an expensive game to get into, and I suspect that I won't really. But this was like a fairly reasonable little purchase, and I do love little Pochita so much. If you don't know, this character is from the Chainsaw Man anime, so which I really like. And yeah, I got Pochita. And now I'll show you the prints that I got. I got this Ryuk print, which I thought was really cool. I just thought it was like a really like interesting art style. So I really like that. And at the same place, I got this Stein sticker. Stein is from, oh my gosh, Soul Eater, the anime. And Ryuk is from Death Note. Just in case, I don't know, people want to check out these things if seeing the art intrigues you. But yeah, so I got those two. And then I got a set of prints from an artist that had just like what I thought were like really cool prints that I would really like. I really want to like frame them and like put them in the house somewhere, or perhaps more likely pack rat them for like a new office setup. I'm gonna have to do something with like the prints I have existing in my office and like kind of like move stuff around. But I thought these were just like, these were things that I thought were like cool enough. Not like cool enough, but like things that I would like showcase in the living room and things like that as well. Not just like my office. So I got these 3 prints. So there's one of them, and there's, oh my gosh, there's the second one, and there's the third one. So they're like these kind of like pixelated type, maybe I can get closer, these kind of like pixelated art type of like, you know, convenience stores, like one is a 7-Eleven, a Family Mart. I'm not sure what this Lawson one is. I'm not familiar with that, but they're like cool. They're like cool like Japanese buildings that are a little bit like dilapidated. I'll have a little bit of wear and tear to them in this like pixel format, which I thought was really cute. And I'd love to like show them as like a series of 3. I think that'd be really cool. And then I got these larger prints. This one, let me see. I'm gonna do far back and then I'll get a little bit closer. So these are like Japanese vending machines, which I thought was really cool. And then I got this one, which is like assorted like drinks, all in this kind of like pixel type art style. Let's see if I can get a little bit closer. Hopefully this is focusing well. If not, I'm so sorry. But like these kind of like pixel art drawing styles. Maybe I'll just insert B-roll over top of like better views of these so you don't have to struggle with watching me show it to you. And then I also got this really cool like print of like a city scene with like these like koi fish swimming throughout, which I thought was really pretty as well. And so yeah, those were just like prints that I thought were like, you know, something that I'd like put in the living room and that sort of thing as well. So I liked them. I got this very cute Froggy pin from the same place that I got the Froggy cardigan from, with a little bubble tea. I thought that was really cute. And I hadn't bought a frog pin yet. There were a lot of places selling frog pins, but I don't know, I felt discerning, I guess. Given my newfound frog obsession, apparently. And so, yeah, I ended up getting this one because it looked really cute and he has a little bubble tea. I got this really cute Luna charm, which I thought was a really cute Luna from Sailor Moon. I thought that was a super cute little pin, so I got that one. And then I got this Anya pin from Spy Family. Maybe I should take these pins out. Anyway, I'll do the B-roll. Maybe that'll be better. Anyway, I got this little pin of Anya because I do really love Spy Family, but I don't have any like Spy Family pins. So I wanted to get that one. And then finally, I got a little Itadori. Oh my gosh, I dropped him. I got a little Yuji. Oh my god, now he's got hair on him. I got a little Yuji shaker charm. He's got like a little kitty in his backpack. The shaking doesn't really work well, but it's still super cute. And it's got a little kitty charm link. And you can see on the back of the charm is like the back of his head. Even. So it's very cute. So I got him as a little keychain. So that I think was everything, wasn't it? Yeah, that was everything. So I'm very, very excited with my haul and my purchases, especially the clothing, because now I have like very cute, fun clothing to wear. And yeah, so that's the whole Anime North haul. Right now it's Monday, so I'm like, okay, back to work. We are currently, I don't know if I said this or not, we are currently in Hamilton. So we're here for a week. We're doing like a working holiday here. And so I need to get started on my edits, not edits, oh my gosh, on series planning for the Mastery of Monsters series. And so today what I'm planning to do is to make a list of all of the things I kind of need to, I guess, get in order to do this series planning, and like everything that I need, like what sort of like things from the first book am I going to address. So thankfully when I did copy edits for Mastery of Monsters, I wrote down a bunch of things, like kind of like, I guess, loose ends that, you know, I want to wrap up. And so I got to figure out how I'm going to do that. I want to like decide the twists and turns for the book. I have to figure out the format of the competition, because there's another competition in this book, and so I have to figure out like how I'm gonna do that. I am planning to do like a bracket, like a I guess because I recently, coming back to anime, I recently have been rewatching Haikyuu in preparation for the movie, which I don't know how I'm gonna watch that movie because it's not gonna show in theaters where we live, and unfortunately we are leaving the area before I'll get to like go. It's showing in a few places in Toronto, but like we're gonna be gone back up north before that time happens, so I'm not gonna get to watch it in theaters here. It's just sad. It's sad, but it is what it is. It is what it is. But anyway, I've been rewatching Haikyuu, and of course they have like brackets there for the volleyball, and so I think I want to use some sort of bracket like that to figure out like how everything's working. And then of course I got to figure out which characters are in the bracket. I got to figure out the new characters I'm introducing. I have some ideas for new characters. There's some characters that have been mentioned in the first book that are going to reappear. So I got to figure out like kind of who those characters are going to be. And I will say I'm doing like a rough series planning this week. So I'm not doing like a full plotting. I just want to make sure that in my mind, I have a good solid idea of how this series is going to play out. And so that's just what I'm trying to get down. And I'm going to be doing the full plotting. Is it next month I'm doing it? I think it is next month in June. So pretty much right after I'm going to be doing the full plotting. But I just wanted to like give myself a week to like think through things and ideate and brainstorm and like give myself a bit more of like, I guess like a free-flowing artistic kind of planning moment before I get into like hardcore, okay, let's go, let's get everything in order. I just wanted to give myself more of that time. And because this series has so much world building in it, I also have to really work on that. So I have to kind of look through all of the world building, sort of like the world building Bible stuff that I have in place already. Because it's the first time I've actually followed through on making one of those and like updating it and things like that. So I have to go through and see what from there I need to come out and like how is it going to come out and like how I'm going to do those reveals and just like get a good rough idea so that when I go into plotting hardcore, I know, okay, these are all of the things that need to go into the series. And so I can get those together. So that's what I'm going to be working on. So today I think I'm just going to make a big list of kind of all the elements I want to get together. And I might do like some rough ideas or maybe just like writing down all the things that I have in my head that I have not yet translated onto the computer. And so, yeah, that's the plan for today. That's the plan for the rest of the month. And I will check in with you at some point.
Save me, keep me from floating away. Blue dream, baby, you leave me with nothing to say but I don't wanna feel the night. I just wanna chill under the northern lights with you. I'll do whatever you want me to do. Lady, save me and keep me from floating away. Blue dream, baby, leave me with nothing to say but
Hello. Potentially my face is a little bit red. I was on a treadmill, but I want to get this clip going so I can close out the vlog and get this video to all of you. So I'm just dealing with it. So if you're like, why is her face red? That is why. Yeah, we are back. Clearly, I am back home from Hamilton. We had a great time. I was able to meet up with Sarah Raleigh, who's the author of the Effigies trilogy and the Bones of Ruins trilogy, and also Nadia, who writes she does the Malaika picture books. I was able to meet up with both of them there and like hang out a little bit. So that was really great. Also, you saw I got to go to the indie epic books there, which was wonderful. Anime North, all of that. Just had a great time. The only thing I'm sad that I didn't get to do is that the Haikyuu movie Battle at the Garbage Dump was showing in select theaters in Toronto, but it's just like the timing of it we couldn't make work. So I wasn't able to go see it, but it's okay. It's okay. I will get to see it at some point. And I totally just finished my rewatch. But anyway, everything is fine. I will get to see the Haikyuu movie at some point. I also got to visit my mom and sister and grandma, which was fantastic and good. My mom has chickens now, so we also got like fresh eggs, which I'm excited to eat. And yeah, just had like a good working holiday. The writing stuff, which is probably what you care about. So I did do some good rough series planning. So I'm feeling like I know where I'm going now, which is helpful. Yeah, and I think some things about the series planning will become more clear in the next little bit, but I don't think before this video goes up, so I'm not going to spoil a surprise, so to speak. But yeah, there will be some news coming soon. potentially the week after this video is posted, in that next week. So if you want to see it, I'll probably post it on YouTube too, but you can follow me on Instagram, where I will definitely post about it. So that's coming up, and so that's good. And then I was able to have that chat with my film agent and my literary agent about Pathways, which first of all, didn't like the title. So Pathways is not going to be the title. It's going to change once again. So I'm just going to go back to calling this hashtag the couples retreat. I should have never strayed from it, especially knowing how much titles change in this industry. I should have never swapped around, but I thought for sure she was gonna like that one, and not really. So we're still looking for a title. We're still gonna be brainstorming some stuff for that, but also my film agent had some edits that she suggested. So there was one part, it's really actually the catalyst, and it's just like I realized it wasn't a proper catalyst, and so I put in something that I hoped would fix it, but that was the thing that stood out as not really working to my film agent, and I feel like that's a legitimate critique, and so I've thought of a fix for it now. So that, and she also wanted the male lead to be a little bit more dreamy was kind of the word, but I get what she means. Like, you want to kind of, this whole book is about the main character fighting for this relationship, so you kind of want to be like, why is she fighting so hard for this guy? So I totally get that. And so those are the two edits that I'm going to be going forward and doing. And so I need to do those first before we can be going on submission. So that is what I have planned for June. Yes, it is June. That's what I have planned for June. So I'm gonna be working on plotting. So actually plotting out the second book in the A Mastery of Monsters series. And then I'm going to take some time right at the beginning of the month to do those edits on the couples retreat, so we can get this project on submission. And so I'm happy about that. And as with the thing with edits, like, these are not things like I have to do. It's because I agree with the edits that my film agent suggested, and so I want to do them. Again, I'm not in a rush. There's really no rush to get this onto submission. I don't need to sell anything this year. And so I would rather take the time to make it better, make it like the best it could be, for both industries, for film, TV, and publishing, than to kind of just be like, nah, I don't want to do anything. I just want to get it on submission, when I know I can just fix things and make it better. So that's my plan. It is a pretty easy fix. I don't think it should take me more than 2 to 3 days to do either. So I'm totally cool to do it. And then hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get on submission in June. But otherwise, I think that's all of the updates for the vlog. But yeah, that's kind of all that's going on. I have a secret video in the works now. If you follow me, I will say, if you follow me on Instagram and TikTok, you might, in the next coming bit, next week actually, to be precise, you might start noticing me doing something. And it is for the purposes of a secret video that's going to follow up. And it's going to be a long-term project. It does have to do with social media, and I'm excited to be going forward with that. I just decided to do that this month, and so we will see how that goes. But otherwise, it is hot where I am now. It is fully summer, and yeah, I'm excited about everything to come. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!
Say